laid back vibe, baby. Straight up. It's just a laid back vibe, baby. Straight up. It's just a laid back vibe, baby. Straight up. It's just a laid back vibe, baby. Straight up. It ain't nothing but a laid back vibe.
Hey everybody, welcome into another episode of Sketchy and Funny. I'm Tommy Bell from Tommy Bell Art, and I want to start this show off right off the bat by introducing my co-host. He's the voice of the official Lingerie Fighting Championships podcast, Beauty, Strength, and Dominance, as well as the Stephen Michael Show, and he's the social media magnet, Mr. Michael Larkin.
What's up, Tommy Bell? We are 10 episodes into this dang thing, the 1-0. If this was pro wrestling, we'd be like Ty Dillinger because we perfect tens. How you doing, man?
Oh my God, dude, this is a mammoth show, and here's why. Even though it just hit me a little bit ago, I was telling you about this. The special guest we have on the show today, this is incredible because in a weird way, this is an LFC35 Booty Camp 3D reunion show. Here's why. Our special guest today, Mr. Michael Larkin, is the one and only Lara Frazier. Lara, how are you?
Hi, I'm doing great. How about you?
Good.
Doing great. Doing great. And Booty Camp 3D, which was Halloween 2021 for Lingerie Fighting Championships, all three of us, me, you, Lara, Michael, all three of us were newbies going under that banner to put on that show. We got a ring announcer, we got a judge, and we got a champ, all from that same incredible event. You can't pass that up. Like, that's going to be part of the discussion of the show, folks.
Of course.
Oh, for sure. For sure. I didn't realize you guys were newbies too to the whole situation.
Yeah, I mean, I was my first ring announcing spot, and then Tommy over here being the sharp dressed man that he was as a judge. And let's just get it out the way here, folks. The reason why this one over here is undefeated 1-0 in women's mixed martial arts lingerie fighting championship is because, well, I mean, Laura, we talked about on the LFC podcast watch along. It was all Tommy Bell's fault. If there's anyone to blame, it's Veronica Payne, if you will,
Yeah,
it's all Tommy's fault. The deciding decision over here. What's up?
yeah. That's right. We determined it was your fault, Tommy. Sorry.
Well, I guess I will take some of the blame for that. I mean, I guess when you're put in the judge's chair, you're going to be loved by some and hated by others. And there was definitely a reaction to that. And there was no mystery that, I said it before, that was a very close match. Like on my scorecard, I wasn't peeking at the other judges, but I could tell you on my scorecard, it was really close, but it didn't, I didn't get any social media fanfare from other people.
No, man.
I gotcha. Yeah.
Yeah, Veronica's all pissed. It's all your fault, Mr. LFC Screwjob over here, dare I say. And first of all, she's looking mean after I friggin' announce it. Like, it's not me, okay? She's giving me the old evil eye, man. Like, it wasn't not me. It was the bald guy over there with the black.
Oh, I felt the cold, icy stare, man, and I was like, how about that? I didn't realize there was so much hanging on. I mean, you know that there's a lot hanging on it because I was very honored to be asked to be a judge at that event. But I'm telling you, I didn't expect that, but I stood my ground because, I mean, watch the match again, folks. Pull up LFCfights.com and watch this match again. And then when you're done with that, watch it again because it's just an incredible match. I spent more time with my jaw in my lap than I did actually writing numbers on the page. Maybe that was the problem. I don't know, but it was just such an amazing match to see. And of course, Laura's talents go far beyond the LFC ring. We both know this. Like, she's involved in so many different arenas and rings and just kicking ass and taking names. It's incredible. And that's why I had to get her featured on this drawing. We've talked about this, Laura, for a while, this drawing. And the Adventurous was just this theme. And I had this great idea in my head, and it's finally coming to paper. But I don't want to waste too much more of my camera time with me on here while we're jawing about my judging prowess. I'm going to take my camera and hop over to the drawing table, and then we can discuss anything you want to, whether it's LSD hatred or love or whatever it is we got to talk about. But we're going to hop over to the table. All right, everybody, here it is. This drawing called The Adventurous, featuring the Lara Frazier. Here's the photo. We're doing a quick side-by-side here so you can see this is the photo I'm working off of. What an amazing, look at that. And so I'm trying my best to recapture that in this drawing, but give it a real adventure theme. Laura, you and I have talked about the idea many, many times. But like I said, we can talk about whatever you want to. I'm going to get started and go in here and start working on your gloves, your pads, that kind of stuff. I'm going to be starting just to make an art show out of this, everybody. I'm going to be starting with black. And you know what? Hang on 1 second. I'm going to flip scripts for just 1 second. I'm going to surprise you. Hold on. Watch this.
Oh,
hang on. This is going to be great. A blank piece of paper, for ladies and gentlemen. And yes, this is not planned, but I'm going to do this anyway, just for 2 seconds. I'm going to show you, because I've never done this on the show before, and it just hit me. But so, like, there's a volcano, and there's palm trees and that kind of stuff. So, and I'm kind of cheating. Normally, I do this in pencil first, but for time's sake, I'm just going to go in. I've got a couple of Sharpies here, different sizes. This is super tiny. This one here is a bit larger, but just to show you, like, okay, I'm going to draw a volcano. So how am I going to do that? And it's good if your hand shakes a little bit too, because if you make a squiggly line, then you can't go wrong, you know. And I'm just going to kind of cap it off here. And then I'm just going to, and this is the way I do it. And just add a bump, add another bump, and just go down like that. Now I gotta show like the back side of it, but I don't want to show it a lot. So I'm going to break that line. Now then, I'm going to go in with my tinier pen, and I'm going to just make a few lines following the directions. And because it's a mountain, at some point you have to show. Now I do a lot of my work in color, which is great, but I still have to ink out some stuff. So if I add a few just contour lines, and I'm just doing this real quickly, and honestly, I spend a lot more time when I'm working on an actual piece than I am in this just quick scribble session, let's just say. But I'll put in enough ink so that I kind of get an idea where there might be shadows and stuff. And if you want a line to taper out, just stipple dot it. You know, like just make the line really skinny and then just do a few dots, and then it just seems to disappear into nowhere like that. Do. And then if you want, you know, smoke, there's so many different ways you can do steam and smoke billowing out like brah. And then and I'll get off this soapbox here in a minute and get right back to it. But if you just, you know, if you just kind of fan it out towards the top, because it's starting to dissipate as it hits the atmosphere up higher and higher, and then just do a few little big black things like little stuffs, and then lava. Okay, let's do a little bit of lava dripping down like that, and then come over here a little bit more. Just kind of in it squiggles, you know, lava kind of squiggles and bumps around as it's going down the grooves of things. So you can kind of, there we go. And just super quick, I just kind of wanted to show how, you know, because I've never actually done a quick demo like that on one of these drawing shows. And I thought, let me take a quick second and just show how I, you know, nobody gets to see something from a blank page to my first post, and then I'll start to color it and then turn it into something that looks cool. But there you go. Quick demo. Volcano.
That's great. That's better than anything I could do in that amount of time.
I don't know how much time that took. Mr. Larkin will have to let me know, but you know, there you go.
And you were good with that. I mean, first and foremost, it's always nice to have a demo. And like she said, like, I'll be honest with you, my art teachers, I can name them off the top of my head, Mrs. Weller, Mr. Starr, and Mr. Melendez. I got to say, from my elementary years to my middle school years to my high school years. Yeah, no, I couldn't do draw art like that either. Art was not my thing. So then we got the whiz that is you, Mr. Tommy Bell, painting that canvas, so to speak, man. So yeah, I think that was a cool demo. I think that was very interesting just to see how you let it out, man. And you're showcasing the behind the scenes, the allure, if you will, man. It's storytelling. I mean, we'll equate it to professional wrestling here as we got the pro wrestler over here doing her thing as only she can do. It's storytelling, man.
Indeed. And I think it's kind of fun. Like I mean, no magician shows every single trick that's in the hat, but that's what makes it so cool. But I also have never been shy about just basically saying, like, here's what I do. You know, some people will watch a demo like that and go, how did you do that? Well, I hate that question because I don't know how I did it, but I just kind of showed you.
Yeah. Yeah, like a lot of my friends who are artists, it's just like it's just practice, you know, you just got to keep practicing and getting better at it. And it's like, yeah, but that requires a certain level of patience that I am not capable of.
Well, I think it's patience. I always find that I get myself into a relaxed mode. You know, even right before I'm doing a show, especially, you know, like the shows at first for me were a bit nerve-wracking, and now it's just like I'm sitting down with a couple of friends at the art table and babbling away as I, you know, work on the drawing.
Mm-hmm.
I wish I was faster at doing it so that I could trim the show times down a little more. But at the same time, this is, you know, there's a certain amount of honesty with this drawing show in that this is literally the speed that I'm working at. The only thing that's different about what you're seeing from when the camera's not on and I'm going from one post to the next is there's usually loud music blaring in my ears of my very eclectic musical choices.
Oh,
But
don't. I have a very eclectic musical taste as well, so I hear you on that.
well, I think I was listening to a mixture of, oh my God, let's see here. I was listening to some Fish, which people don't listen to that band very much. Um, I was listening to a mashup between the Bee Gees and 50 Cent, which is really, really
Hold on a minute
cool.
now. Hold the phone here, Mr. Tommy Bell. First,
Oh, oh,
we're gonna bring this up here, Mr. BG's and 50 cents. So pretty much what you're telling me is we could find you in the club with some night fever. That's what you're pretty
dude,
much
that
telling
is
me.
a really cool mashup, man. And I'm not old enough so that I can't say that. It was a really cool mashup.
I do really like the Bee Gees. I mean, I wasn't around during their heyday, but you know, if you have a problem with disco, you have a problem with me. That's all I have to say.
Uh, my mom is disco queen. She likes the Bee Gees and all that good stuff. Like she's a big fan of like not only Night Fever, but of course Staying Alive. We got Nobody Gets Too Much Heaven No More, which I believe Pentatonics did like an a cappella version of that, which was
Yep.
actually not bad. But yeah, man, like the Bee Gees, and I mean, if you had like their solo careers, like they were the shiznit, to put it bluntly. You know what I'm saying? They were the shit.
But when
Yeah,
I
the Foo
say that I'm
Fighters did
going,
a cover album of them.
Right. That's the thing too, man. And I mean, with 50 Cent, you talk about, which it's crazy to think because 90s babies over here, but between myself and this one over here, talking about like in the club. Like I remember when that first came out and they premiered that on TRL. And then here comes 50 Cent just coming right down backwards. Go, shawty. It's your birthday. Which like it's crazy to think like that song's gonna be 21 years old next year.
Oh damn, I didn't even think about that. Oh God.
I know, right? Like it's crazy. That's like somebody on Instagram was like, "Can you believe like 2014 is going to be 10 years ago now?" I'm like, "Yeah, man," but still, I mean, I think with everything, like with any music, is timeless. Like with Tommy over here talking about Fish and the Bee Gees and stuff. Like for me, like my eclectic taste, and we'll get to Laura's eclectic taste over here in a second. But it's like one day I could be listening to like give me like Backstreet Boys or some boy band stuff, or hell, maybe I'll go over to some chord and Freak on a Leash and do that weird ass beatboxing that Jonathan Davis does. That go that whole thing. There's so many different things that go into it. So now I'm curious. Now you piqued my interest.
you
Where's
you gotta you
yeah?
gotta add in. You have to add in one more song though that I
What's
was
that?
really jamming to when I was coloring her hair, which was Judas Priest "Painkiller."
Oh,
So
okay. All right. Now Okay, so Judas Priest, VGs, and 50 Cent. I'm here for it. I'm here for this partay. So, Lara Frazier, you're up in the mix with your eclectic vibes. What was some of the music that you had going on? I mean, can you really top now Judas Priest, the Bee Gees, 50 Cent, and Backstreet and Korn, and all these groups that we're talking about? What's in your eclectic mix, man?
Oh God. I mean, looking at my desk, I'm a very big Beatles fan.
Nice.
I think that's where my eclectic taste in music came from. Lately I've been listening to a lot of Taylor Swift. I just got a birthday gift from my mom, which is the Taylor Swift quiz book.
Oh,
Oh
snap.
yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, and then I saw Metallica in LA this year in like August. Um,
Nice.
and I also really like In This Moment, Hailstorm. I've been to a lot of rock concerts. I've seen Papa Roach. Papa Roach is the first show I ever did a mosh pit to. Or it was actually a circle pit, so even more intense. Um, yeah, I listen to a lot of kinds of music, and not all kinds of music, but a lot of music. Um, like if you just look at my Instagram, I mean, lately I've been using Taylor Swift songs, but like Fleetwood Mac is definitely a big thing I'm into, and obviously Mike Larkin and I have talked about our love of Britney Spears. Um, she's the legend, she's the icon, she is the moment. Um, and then Lady Gaga. Um, I really like a lot of the British invasion stuff. I really like the Hollies,
Nice.
um, the Turtles. Uh yeah, there's a lot of I like a lot of 60s, a lot of like 70s like acid rock, and then yeah, like some top 40 stuff, some alternative stuff.
See,
Um
that's where you're
yeah.
talking about my Pink Floyd, especially the early years.
Oh yeah, oh my God. One of my favorite albums lately has been The Wall.
Oh
Um
yes.
yeah, because I don't know, I think it's just very interesting, like as someone who's started to develop like a following with fans, I can definitely see how like a lot of like grief and trauma can make you feel like separated and alienated from people.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's really how that album has been speaking to me lately. Like it's just been
Love
real.
that album. Love,
Yeah.
love that album.
Yeah. And the film has just got amazing visuals. And I'm sure as an artist, you probably really like the animation.
I own it on Blu-ray.
Yeah.
Gerald
uh,
Scarfe is a genius. And
mhm.
yeah, I mean that movie is a very depressing movie to sit through, but it
Oh,
also
yeah.
it's got such a magnetic pull, especially on me. You know, I long time
Mhm.
ago long time ago when I wasn't drawing, I actually did some music and had some local bands and stuff. And one of the last things I did was I played a, a 2.5 hour Pink Floyd concert.
Oh, that's
And
cool.
and the wall was a big part of that concert.
Yeah. But yeah, fun fact, the person who worked on the animation for the wall also helped with like concept art for the Disney movie Hercules. Um
Oh,
yeah, and you can definitely see like his influence on it, because it's like I mean, a lot of the 2D animation is very like different from movie to movie, but it's like I think it has a particular like distinct style with Hercules, personally in my opinion. I'm sure
I'll have
Mike's
to pay
probably
more
seen it.
attention to that now.
I'm
Now I'm
aware
peaked.
again, bro. You gotta watch like the Hercules, and I say this to everybody, just everything that goes into it. And I'm not gonna spoil it because she pretty much said the whole thing in a mouthful, and a very nice mouthful in a short description. But it's very good when it comes to the animation, just the overall, like we talk about storytelling being a big part in anything. I was always a fan, even when they had the Hercules cartoons, and I'll take this back to the '90s when you're watching the WB folks, and then you got like Hercules, you got the cartoons up in the mix. Help put on some Soul Train, if you will, with the dude from Criminal Minds to Shamar Moore. Like you have an eclectic mix of really what Saturday afternoon, the pretty much binge of what we got when we were kids. Like to me, like I miss those times watching the cartoons and watching like the shows we have now, kind of like as an adaptation of what we saw. But god dang it, man, throw on some Batman Beyond. I know I'm taking people back, but this is what I'm talking about, man. This is like the binge that we used to have that we're getting to see now with like your Disney Pluses and everything from streaming wise. It's just amazing to like unlock those memories, so to speak. And I agree with everything she said about the animation.
Oh,
Yeah.
there's no doubt. There's no doubt there.
And I got to put over the fact that this one over here is talking about Papa Roach in her last resort. So we got to talk about this mosh pit over here, Lara Frazier. All right, so we got Papa Roach. We're talking about Last Resort. We're talking about songs like Getting Away with Murder. We're talking about Tearing Our Hearts Open because God dang it, we got some scars and we got
And sew them someone up shut. Yeah.
oh, and my weakness is I think too much. Yes. So you got the whole thing with Papa Roach there. Now I got to ask you favorite Papa Roach song because I'm going to put this out here. That they did a Last Resort 2.0, right? I don't know if you heard it, but a couple of years ago they did one with some TikToker a cat. It's not bad, but I got to tell you something. Nothing will ever beat the original coming out in 2000. When they're in the ring, they're running and they're crying. He's doing the thing with his head. It's buck wild. Y'all know what I'm talking about with the Papa Roach video. But what's some of your favorite Papa Roach songs? Because Last Resort, when they came out with that, they blew up.
Oh God, yeah, for sure. I would have to say probably Scars, probably. Um, especially as like a teenager, like I don't know, I kind of feel that way. I still feel that way a bit because I do feel like I tear my heart open a lot, and I do feel like my weakness is that I do think too much. But yeah. Oh God. Last Resort, it's funny because I don't know if you guys have been watching Hood Slam at all on Fight Plus, but uh Brutal Rob Hands is going through an emo phase. And the big man, he sometimes has emo rage, and when he's going through his emo rage, Last Resort by Papa Roach plays. Now I know Papa Roach isn't necessarily an emo band, but I would say that Last Resort is an emo song.
Agreed. I agreed with the time period and just everything that goes into the overall storytelling again of that song. Absolutely. And I mean, for those who haven't checked out Hood Slam, I mean, we see you, we see Adventures in Science, we see a lot of what you're doing, man. You get to even see the hardcore vibe when you're just sticking it right in the head, like it's something out of like a death match or something, man. Like y'all have a great interpretation of what we see into the art form, as we're talking about artistry, if you will, of professional wrestling, man. I gotta say, I dig what Hood Slam has really been putting on.
Thank you. Yeah. Dark Chic is the promoter, and she really created a very like unique vibe. Like she went to concerts. I remember she talks about the story about how she would go to a concert and like people would, lose their mind whenever like one of the band members would like take a joint from the audience and smoke weed. And that was definitely like the vibe that she created. And it ended up being a hit in Oakland, which they call it the accidental phenomenon. But knowing Oakland and knowing the vibe of Hood Slam, it just works. It works.
Another LFC tie-in. First and foremost, got to give a shout out to our boy, the one, the only LFC ring announcer, AJ Kirsch, with his, oh my goodness, the brosif and everything that goes into that. Such a funny dude. And there's another LFC tie-in. Shout out to our dude, AJ Kirsch.
Yeah, he's a really good host.
He is. The dude is the host with the mostest, man. One of the probably, I've noticed that dude ever since his Tough Enough days and just getting to wrestling. I know he's retired now and he's really dipping his toe into many different things. That's another guy with just charisma out the wazoo. There's a word for you, folks. The charisma out the wazoo, if you will. Much like this one over here, Lara Frazier, and this one over here, Tommy Bell with his artistry. I got to say this about you here, T Bell. We were talking about the fact that you're a bias ass judge. Put it on a t-shirt. Veronica Payne.
Here we go.
Veronica Payne, 2021. I gotta say, with everything from that event, and I've always put you on this pedestal, man, all of y'all, because the debut, the ring announcing, the judging, everything that went to that event, not just because it's Halloween, but I gotta say, man, you were up in the mix, if you will, Tommy Bell, when it came to that bout, when it came to the finale, if you will, with Volcana and La Scorpia, man, you had a decision to make. Our girl JBV, Jenny Bloody Valentine, aka Jennifer Thomas, was under the mask. Oh my goodness. Yo, man, you were in the mix on that one too as well. You had some decision making to do, sir.
Dude, that entire night. And I mean, this is me just going off on a LFC song, if you will. But like that entire night was just incredible. And so much of that is still like absolutely locked in the front of my brain. It's not even like I have to think too hard about it. Like there's so many behind the scenes stories, and if we look over at Lara's starting to squirm, she's like, oh shit, here we go. Like literally. So Lara and I met because we shared the same taxi ride up to the event and back. And here we go. It's coming out. Let's face it, how awkward, because I was absolutely like a bundle of nerves, especially by the time it was like starting to be showtime. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, I got some guts thinking that I'm nervous when all of a sudden we sit down and there you are, and we're sitting next to each other on the ride up there. And I'm thinking, now they're like, I wonder if you're nervous. And the whole thing, Michael, was so awkward because like I was super quiet. Like I'm super chatty now, of course, but I was like super quiet. And I think I might have said like 3 things. And I was just like, don't bother anybody.
I mean, I thought you told me the conversation about how all the Bellas wanted to beat you up and make you a Bella also because of the drawing you did.
That's right. I forgot.
Yeah.
I think there's some truth to that too, because I thought that was almost like a social media joke, but I've heard on different podcasts and some of Michael's podcasts and other people's where these Bellas have said like they legitimately had plans, and all 3 of them were going to Sean asking if they could do these things to me.
Oh my God.
I mean, now that would have been a show, right? Like I wasn't scared at all, and I'm still not scared. But at the same time, no, I don't know. But oh my God, that would have been funny.
Yeah, you told me about that. You told us about that story in the car, and then you were like, you seem like you're not nervous at all. You seem like very cool and chill. And I'm like, oh, that's funny, because no, I'm a bundle of nerves myself, because that was my first ever live match, was LFC.
Okay.
And what a night, and what a performance and everything. But yeah, I absolutely remember thinking, wow, you seem relaxed, but how can you be? Because I'm not relaxed. And all I have to do is judge this damn thing without realizing how much hatred would come my way after the fact. I'll never be a LFC judge again. They hate me now.
First of all, I got to add on to her nervousness really quick. My apologies for interrupting, but god dang it, man. Here's what's funny about it. Like I was sitting there going over my lines, and everybody was coming in. I was saying hello to everybody, and then this one over here comes over, and I just go, "Hey, Lara, what's up?" And we gave a brief hug, and she goes, "Hi," and then she just went right to the back. It was like a hi. Like I can tell the nerves, and she's like, "Hi," and then she went right to the back. I don't know if you remember that. But I was just like, we're like, hi. Just like
that sounds like something I would do. Yeah. Like before shows, I'm just always so like tunnel vision. Like this goes for anything, like wrestling, whatever. It's just like, I need to go get ready. I need to go get ready. Even though like I could be like the main event and I'll be like, I need to go get ready. I need to put my face on. I need to get ready. I need to put my gear on. And people always give me shit for like putting on my gear. And it's like, you're not even on until the main event. And I'm like, I need to put it on now because there's going to be 80 people in this really tiny room trying to also get changed too. So I need to put it on now. So just, I swear I'll socialize when I'm all ready and I don't have to worry about it anymore.
That's the beauty of it though, man, just because like I said, with all you girls, and especially T-Bell knows about this because we work with a lot of the same women, but we also are just professionals in how we go about it, and just really like you mentioned, like how you are with the gear, this is how we are with judging and ring announcing stuff, wanting to be the best representation of our presentation. But that's the best thing about these girls, man, and I can say this with the LFC girls, each and every one of y'all are unique and just have great personalities, and just the overall your personalities, your overall perseverance of what you do, I really admire and respect. And I know T-Bell can equate with me on this. But yeah, that's the one thing I'll always remember is just, hey, Laura, how you doing? Hi. And then brief hug. Bye. Right to the back. Laura, that was the last I saw of Laura at that event, folks. Just she was tunnel. That was it.
Yeah, I specifically walked around the building because I was like, I don't want to have to talk to anyone. I just want to go home or went back to the hotel.
Yeah.
Not that I didn't like, it's like, yeah, I was just tired. But yeah, I'm a very introverted person, believe it or not. So yeah,
that's all good. I think
which is funny because it's so not your the persona that you do when you enter that ring. But even as we were leaving the event, a short ride back to the hotel, I was like, "So how you feel?" And you were like, "Tired."
That sounds about right. Yeah. No, that was hard going through 3 rounds with Veronica Payne. Like she really put me through my paces.
But you know what? That match is now forever, and it's such a great. I mean, I don't even remember how many times I've actually watched that match now. Probably 20 times, maybe.
I've probably seen it quite a few times myself, but that's because I was constantly trying to clip it for social media.
And I think to add on to Veronica's point, which is her being like a vet going into that show, like she had just had a bout with, Jennifer Thomas, Jenny Bloody Valentine, LFC31 Booty Camp too. So it was also new for everybody too, because it was in the same year. But that was in early 2021 when again the world with where we are now, folks. I mean, some of it's still out there, but when it was really like not as big a crowds as we have now with everybody coming back into the fold, so to speak. It was in front of nobody. It was just a crew and everybody was watching online. But our event had more people coming back into it. So it was nice to hear the roar of the crowd, so to speak, in the FSW arena, which I'm going to say, if you've not checked out Future Stars of Wrestling and the great event venues that they do and the great shows that they do, it's another hot professional wrestling promotion, much like Hood Slam is. But god dang, man, that venue, that arena is something. If you've never been to an FSW arena show or haven't seen LFC in the FSW arena, it's a sight to see. And I got to say, everybody that night killed it, especially this one over here in your debut, like we mentioned, 1-0. We cannot wait till you come back and let's see you make it 2-0, man.
Yeah, I've been talking to T Bella. Yeah, and hopefully I can make it out to like Florida or back to Vegas and wrestle again. I'd have to brush up on my MMA skills, but yeah.
No, I think you'll get it. I mean, all we need now is, I mean, well, we've had X Factors, we've had backstabbers, we've had back breakers. Now we just need Kimura locks and leg locks and heel hooks, if you will. Channel your inner Chuck Liddell over here, mini Chuck Liddell over here. So yeah, freshen up.
Yeah. And Johnny Saint.
Johnny Saint, this one over here at the UK. Nice. Okay. Then we'll get some freaking Marty Jones up in here and just a snacks the whole nine. We'll go through the whole British strong style. Nice.
Yeah, my friend turned me on to Johnny Saint because she's been a wrestling fan. Rosie Fingers, she helps run Full Queer, which is where the birth of Adventures in Science happened. And she showed me some Johnny Saint footage because she's like, I think you could do some of the stuff he can do because like you were a dancer and you're very flexible. So yeah, so she showed me some footage of him and I've been I sometimes will like if I ever have to like especially during training, I won't really do it during like matches, but during training, like I'll try some of the stuff he did out.
Green man. I mean, I think a lot of people don't even realize, like, when you're watching NXT UK, he was the GM on that show. But I'm like, there's more to Johnny Saint than being the NXT UK GM. Like, if you want to have, much like Regal was with the history that he's had in England, he's another one right up there with Johnny Saint. So, I mean, it adds some more style to it. And what I've always liked about the British strong style, if you will, it's a lot of holds. There's a lot of chain wrestling. There's a lot of just, you know what it is to me? I equate this to wrestling. And I think people like this analogy. Wrestling's like chess. You know what I'm saying? You're making the right moves, the right pawns, if you will. Then that pin and that submission is the checkmate, man. So you got to look at it like chess.
And that makes a lot of sense. I kind of look at it as like either a video game or Dungeons and Dragons. In so much the video game, like you have to like work up to a certain point, like how you have to like work up to a certain point to like use a certain feature. So with your finisher, you have to like work up to a certain point and gain enough points to hit your finisher. And like the reason why you can't kick out is because you've expended all of like your HP and you can't kick out anymore and stuff like that. And like for D&D, it's like, rolling, having a good charisma roll or having a good spot check or because like there's a lot of wrestlers that'll fail their spot checks.
Don't let those hit points get down.
Yeah, well, with the distraction roll up being the most devastating move in all of professional wrestling,
Yes.
as Simon Miller puts it. A good spot check is important.
That cracks me up that you mentioned Simon Miller because I remember when he said that. But I also equate it to like when you're a kid and you're watching Bryan Danielson, like early Bryan Danielson, like mid 2000s Ring of Honor, and he's debuting this new finishing maneuver that he does, and it's like it's the greatest thing ever. It's a small package. Like that's what I'm saying. Like he built it up and it's a small package, roll up 1, 2, 3. But it also makes sense because it's like how many wrestling moves have won with a small package? Like it's a quick roll up, it's out of nowhere, so to speak. Not like how we have the RKO now, but like something like that, such a traditional style pin can come out of nowhere. Like it fits into his style because he's the American Dragon, the technician Bryan Danielson. So I kind of fit also with his character.
Well, that's the move that I've been practicing, so.
Okay, stop it. You don't even know what a small package is.
You don't even know if I know it or not, so don't tell me, Michael. I've been practicing all my training in the Far East.
Yeah,
in the Far East.
The Far East, yes.
Oh yeah, yeah.
You're gonna start
in the Far East of Ohio.
Far East.
Don't start heckling me.
I was about to say, man. Are you about to go on your OVW rise, man? You're gonna
all my training in the Far East under my sensei, I can only refer to as Mr. X.
Mr. X.
Eventually, I will unleash my
Is he who the new Twitter is named after?
Next time he's gonna start pulling out cravats and snap mares and just neck fight.
Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna take everybody by surprise because they think I'm goofing, and they're like, "Oh, he's 54 years old. He's bald. He's gray. Yeah, I get it. No, you just wait. It's all good."
Hey, he's gonna go. You're gonna go Von Erich on us since it's coming out December 22nd. Hit him with the Iron Claw. Is that what you're gonna do, Tommy Bell? Is that what you're gonna?
Well, you took the words right out of my mouth, Mr. Larkin. So, yeah, I'm all about the Iron Claw. So I'm getting ready.
Jim Carrey, baby. Nothing can stop the claw. Liar, liar. Come on, man.
That's right.
I can't wait to see that movie. I saw a bunch of wrestlers got invited to like screenings and stuff, and I was like, why wasn't I invited?
Dude,
everybody's like, thank you, A24. I'm like, A24, where the hell was my invite?
Right.
Dude, Zac Efron, I gotta swear, the boy goes from High School Musical to 17 again and all these great comedy movies, and he's in there doing the damn thing. I know MJF was doing his thing in there as well. Like, that movie just looks so good, and he does a great job of just not only learning, but just, you could tell he really went into that role. Like, Zac Efron has a breakthrough performance in this one.
Yeah, what I really admire about Zac Efron, speaking of High School Musical, he didn't really go into that as a dancer, but like you wouldn't be able to tell. Like if you watch the sequels to High School Musical, like he can move. Like he's got this great charisma, and he's a very good looking man, and he can move, and he just picked it up really well. So if he's as good at the pro wrestling thing as he's as good as dancing, I'm confident that it'll be a very enjoyable movie.
So are you going to be like the Ashley Tisdale or Vanessa Hudgens over here? Who are you more into, the Vanessa Hudgens or the Ashley Tisdale of that movie?
Oh, God. I'm kind of biased because Vanessa Hudgens has the same birthday as me.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, she's also a Sagittarius. But I do think I'm also biased because I was a theater kid like Sharpay. So like, I don't know. I love them both for different reasons.
Didn't she have that hit? What was it? Baby, come back to me in my heart. I still believe. That was like her one hit, right? If I'm remembering that correctly.
Oh yeah. Her, yeah. The one that, yeah. She had a few albums, but yeah, that was like the one. I guess it might have been a hit. I don't know. I know they played it on Disney Channel a lot in commercials.
Honestly, let's all sing it together.
Yeah,
let's all sing it together. Go ahead.
No, all I know is baby.
No, I'm good.
I'm good.
But honestly, like when it comes to like the pop music, I think Ashley Tisdale actually has more bangers. Like if you listen to Headstrong, that album's full of bangers.
Isn't that the one with He Shed, She Shed? I think it's
yes, that song's a banger. Am I wrong?
No, it's a good song. Like, first of all, I think a lot of us, and especially a lot of us 90s kids and wrestling fans and everybody that's just into the art of both eclecticness of music and wrestling, because there is a variety. Like 2000 Pop Hits on Instagram posts like a lot of great ones. Like they put out Mamma Mia by the 18s, which like haven't heard in like forever. And it's like awesome. And also I brought Tommy onto this because of the principal from The Breakfast Club was the one, the principal in 18's Dancing Queen music video from 99. If you remember Dancing Queen, Laura?
Yes, it was the cover of the ABBA. They
ABBA?
did a lot of ABBA covers. The 18s did.
And they were upside down, bouncing off the ceiling and whatnot. Yep, yep. Oh my goodness, Tommy, Europop baby, late '90s, early 2000s Europop, Tommy Bell.
Oh, I'm ready. I mean, if it, I got to get over my Judas Priest though. Like I got to get past.
Oh, Tommy, let's be honest with ourselves here. You're a bit of a touch of class. La 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 la. It goes around the world, just la 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 la. Put yourself in that touch of class, sir.
Oh,
ATC.
I can. I'm telling you, I just love all kinds of music, and I think a lot of times when I'm doing this right here, like I said, I got all kinds of different music blasting because music gives you some kind of a magical energy and an extra lift that nothing else really does, and so you can't. I'm never dismissive of that, and I'm very open to listening to all kinds of stuff, and people wouldn't pin on me, and they're like, "You're listening to what the hell now?" Which is cool, Hey, do what you got to do to get that juice. Hey, you know what? Just for a second, while I'm yabbering, I'm just going to show you real quick. I'm going to put down this black pencil because I've blocked in an arm pad and an arm there, and what I'm doing is I'm going in with a couple of other grays. So I'm like leaving this white spot here for both of my viewers. The art show part of this, I'm leaving this spot and I'm keeping it really soft right there because I'm going to go on with this medium and then this light just for touch-ups. And this is how I get my blending. So I'm going to start right over top of that black area there. So Laura, as you're doing this at home,
yep, I'm doing it. I got my pencil.
Cool. So you're going to take that medium gray and start by going over top of that black because you don't want a definitive area where the black stops and this gray starts. So if you start on top of the color that you're blending out to and then work your way out a little bit and still just leave just a hint of empty space there, not a lot, just a tiny bit. That's what we're going to use for that last color. But then you're going to see when I throw that last color down and I blend out, you'll see how it all smashes together. And, you would think that, maybe I'm putting, yeah, okay, so it takes me 8 or 10 minutes or whatever to color this arm pad. But the payoff is that when people are looking at some of these drawings, they'll often comment to me about how great the coloring is or the detail or whatever. It seems so realistic or whatever. And I think that's because instead of just blocking in that arm pad is black, therefore it's going to be black, or whatever. I kind of use a little artistic license and I put a highlight and a texture as much as I can in everything so that when you step back and you look, even the most mundane areas they just have that little extra something. I always use a dry brush, just like this one, to brush off all the little flakes and stuff because these pencils are very dense wax. And so when I do this blending, it always leaves little paper boogers. But see, here, I'll show you right here. Now, this is the lightest gray I'm going to use because I don't want it's not a latex. So I'm not looking for a shiny highlight. I just need enough definition to show where the light would be striking this. And I'm going to smoosh all these little areas out like so. And that's what gives that whole blending thing. And when the whole picture is finished, you'll probably never look at this armband and be like, wow, he did a really good job on that armband. But it's that combination of kind of putting that extra few minutes into each little area that people will be like, wow, that's a pretty cool drawing.
Yeah, the devil's in the details.
Exactly.
Yeah. No, I appreciate stuff like that. Honestly, shadowing and shading is the most interesting part to me when it comes to people talking about their drawing process. It's because that's to me, it looks like the most difficult part. Especially if you're doing it just freehand. I'm like, how do you know what part to leave dark and what part to leave light?
But see, now check this out. So if I'm not happy, like, okay, maybe that looks a little too light. Then I just grab my black and I go back over those areas again and just kind of keep working it until I get it to a spot where it looks right. And it's just on judging. It's just on judging. Here we go back to the LFC. No, it's just on judging with your eyes, which turns out is exactly what I was doing at that event. But and just comparing and looking, and I think when you're an artist, it's okay to be a little weird, but everything I look at things differently than somebody else, even an LFC match. But I'm like automatically just detail oriented into every part of it. So when I'm watching something, whether it's a movie, an LFC match, working on a drawing, whatever, I'm just completely immersed in that whole thing. Becomes my reality for a few minutes, so that when I step away, I can go, oh wow, okay, I did that, neat.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
But it also adds, again, just getting back to this, it just kind of adds that little extra layer of detail that will make the whole finished thing hopefully look really, really cool and be an extra special, super proper spotlight for you, Lara Frazier. Because we got to go back to this. Deck the halls, Michael Larkin.
If there's anything that represents Christmas, and I like how you segued that, Mr. Tommy Bell. If there's anything that signifies Christmas, folks, you can check it out on the LFC's Instagram, Twitter, and of course T Bell's Instagram and Twitter over here with his artistry thing. It is Deck the Halls. You and Veronica Payne, Lara getting your own feature now in the spotlight, but you and Veronica Payne and T Bell, I've always said this to you, when you think of the holidays, man, one of your best drawings for the holiday season, if you will.
I just love that drawing, but I had no idea that it would be shown every year at Christmas like that. I kind of thought it would be just like, oh, that's kind of funny and it's kind of cool. And it was, Lara, was your first appearance in my personal portfolio, although it wasn't a proper spotlight, as I like to say. It was a really fun piece. I just didn't expect the fanfare that piece has really gotten, and I'm really thrilled that the LFC still continues to show it every Christmas because it's hilarious. I even had somebody message me saying, oh, is that what you want? Is these two beautiful girls fighting over Christmas presents? And I'm like, yeah, it's kind of the holiday spirit.
Totally.
And it was such a fun piece to do, and it was just something that was really, really unique. And going back to LFC35, your weigh-in with her totally inspired that. I knew riding home, and I almost looked at you and said, hey, I'm going to be drawing you pretty soon. And I didn't, because I was, I never know from one week to the next exactly which project I'm going to be working on. So I didn't say anything too quickly, but that it didn't take long for that idea to germinate and for me to go, I have to do this.
Yeah. No, I get you. As a creative myself, it's like you sometimes get ideas, but you never know when you can like put them into fruition. So yeah, it's like, I understand and I appreciate you, taking the time to, be like, am I going to do this? Okay, I'm going to do this instead of getting my hopes up.
Oh, absolutely not. I mean, I try to always keep my word. That's something that I hold very dear. So when I talk to people, and I don't do this with everybody, I don't promise everybody, sure, I'll do a drawing. It's the people that I've developed some sort of friendship with or some kind of rapport. Michael knows this. And there are some, especially in the LFC community and Athletes on Fire and Session Girls, that these ladies and I have a rapport. And so those people, I will say, okay, you know what? I got you. I don't know when, but I got you. And we're going to try to time it right so that it is beneficial to you somehow. And it's just my way of thanking you for incredible entertainment. Well, how else can I put it?
Thank you. I appreciate it.
I mean,
It's a great thank you. The best thank you I've ever received.
Well, I can't get in the ring, honestly. I mean, I would be killed in a minute. But I can do this, and it's like, what a neat way to say thank you to the female athletes and fighting community and the companies that I'm working with now by using my pencils. Like, that's my strongest suit, that I have. That's the biggest thing that I have to give. Why not use that? And the accolades and thank yous that I've gotten back have just been absolutely incredible. Laura, the special guests that I've had on this goofy drawing show, the list is just incredible and continues to grow with your guest appearance on here. Like, I was just over the moon when we got this set up. I was just thrilled.
Yeah, of course. We've been talking about this a while, so I knew it was going to happen at some point. So I was like, okay, I got to make sure to make time for this.
Oh, I'm so glad you did. I mean, you've been so accommodating, to help me get you on as a guest, that it's great. Thank you so much for that.
For sure. Thank you for having me. I'm very honored.
This is one of the challenges of being an artiste, is that you've got to use a little bit of creative, I don't know. You have to make your own decisions every once in a while and take a creative leap of faith, especially if, the photos, which this is a great photo, by the way, but photos don't always show everything to the detail that I want to see in recreating it. And that's when you fall in that groove of going, okay, you know what I'm going to do with this area is I'll do this. Like, her hair shading isn't going to be exact. Like, if you were to really analyze it side by side, I don't have the highlights in exactly the same spots, but pretty close. But, you could probably find some areas and go, wait a minute, that's not as black there as it is there. Well, maybe not. But if you don't have the photo right next to it, you just kind of go, hey, that's Lara Frazier. Check that out.
Yeah. Also, like with photos, like I forget. I know her first name's Veronica. She took that of me in at RMW Lucha Libre in Southern California, Oxnard, California. She took a few photos of me that they needed for promos. And sometimes you're not always gonna get like the exact real life detail, depending on like the quality of the photo, especially since I probably sent that to you and it's probably like a copy of a copy of a copy. So it's probably like way more pixelated than the actual photo is.
Right.
So, stuff like that. So yeah, it's totally understandable that you would want to like change some details up and make it look a little prettier than, the copy of the copy of the copy, and how much like JPEG encryption that's probably on it, because it is a copy of a copy. And I probably sent it to you on Instagram, which probably destroyed it. But yeah.
But that's where I also have the fun, though. That gives me that artistic liberty. And I won't lie, it's a challenge. Like, when I sit down and I'll look at the photo and I start getting into it, there's a challenge there when you realize that the photo might not have something that you need, or a detail in an area. And this is not a slight on the photographers or anything like that. But like you said, the way we send these things back and forth, and then of course I print out a paper copy so that I have it side by side instead of using my phone, which is so much smaller, to get those details. But it's a challenge, and it's a lot of fun as an artist to try and figure out, how can I get this right? And there's times where I sit there for 20 minutes and I'll just stare at the photo like a mental patient, trying to figure out how I'm going to pull off this next little step or whatever. And then something just kind of hits me, and I dive into my colored pencil collection and just go for it.
Yeah, for sure. And, it's, photographers can only do so much to help JPEG encryption.
Right. Right. I mean, they've done their job and they've got a really good print of it, but
Yeah,
hopefully,
yeah.
and I'm
I'm
hoping that
sure
this,
I'm sure if I could have asked her for like the raw file and it would have looked way better, but I had what I had.
and it's definitely good enough for this, I think. I mean, again, the translation, I think, is really working out. And this is going to be a really good showcase of not just your work in the LFC, but all these other wrestling companies that you're involved in, that you're kicking ass at. Like your star is so on the rise. I feel very honored that I had a chance to meet you face to face, even though our conversations now would probably be a lot more in depth than they were back in 2021.
Yeah, yeah. Again, I'm very introverted and shy, so I'm very like, I don't know if I should talk to this person or not, or if I'll embarrass myself.
Yeah, that's what I do literally day and night. The only difference is I'm not afraid of embarrassing myself. I care less. I'm like, that's me, people.
For sure, for sure. And there's nothing wrong with that.
And so even down to these simple things like these straps here going across the front, I'm doing that same shading thing. So nothing is just, oh, that's a black strap or whatever. I'm going, it is, but it needs a little artistic embellishment, a little artistic license to get it the way I want to see it. And when you talked about the devil being in the details, you will have fun when this is finished trying to find your hidden initials.
Oh, I will. Yes. I like hidden things.
It's a little fun that I have with each model that I feature. I do not do that on my company. Like if I'm featuring Women of Sparta or the LFC, I don't do hidden initials in those. But I do when it's a personal spotlight because it gives the featured model something fun extra to do once the drawing is done. And I've had many have just a great time doing that. Message me at some point in time. One lady, it took her months to find them, and I had to kind of help her a little bit. But other people find them right away. Just kind of something a little extra.
Yeah, no, I like Easter eggs. I mean, I became a fan of Taylor Swift for a reason. She loves her Easter eggs.
There you go. There you go. And so I am just at the point here where I'm getting ready to stop and wrap up this show. But I've been so jazzed and waiting forward to this show because it's kind of like an LFC Booty Camp Reunion. We were all newbies there, and here we are a couple of years later, still kicking ass in our own venues. Mr. Michael Larkin, the social media magnet that he is,
I'm
kicking
taking
ass on the microphone.
taking that nickname now, man. I don't mean to cut you off, but I like that. Just call me the SMM, social media magnet. I like your style, Tommy Bell. That's very nice of you to say. Thank you. But no,
I
man.
think that's what it is.
Right? That social media saturation is what we have. That whole SMS. That's been our thing.
Yes.
Oh, we try to make sure so people can understand. And what I also like about this and how I like including the ladies of LFC, including this one over here, it's the social media saturation of putting out a lot of promotion there so people can really gravitate towards whether it be the amazing photos taken by Regard Photography, the one and only Richard Ember, whether it be Tommy doing his thing with his drawings and decking them halls, baby, or if it's Lara Frazier over here encompassing the matchup that we see or a little snippet of the clip. You want to have a lot of people really engage with it because if that's something that a lot of people can really gravitate towards with LFC, hey, yo, I saw Lara Frazier and Veronica Payne, VP, if you will, do the damn thing at LFC35. I want to see more of LFC. Or if I saw T-Bell over here doing his thing drawing, man, I want to see some more of those photos. Maybe I can see the imagery, if you will. That's what it's about, man, that social media saturation, because we talk about Mr. X over here. There's some benefits to some social media, even though there's a lot of this. There's a lot more of this, too, as well. So you have to have that nice, healthy balance when it comes to the social media front.
Absolutely. And I do want to take just a few quick seconds as I try to each and every show and thank my dear friends at Lingerie Fighting Championships for being so kind to me that they are airing this show on the LFC VIP section of their website. I couldn't be more honored that they're giving me an extended platform by doing that. I just think that's amazing. And so thank you, LFC, for that.
Yes, sir.
Oh, well, I'm just about to a point where I'm going to wrap up the show. I've finished. I've done some detailing here with some straps and some elbow pads and some gloves and things like that. I've really been working mostly with black and just a few different grays and stuff like that. So nothing super colorful, exciting, but I also took a quick moment to just do a demo to show you from blank paper to quick volcano what you can do with a pen in just a few minutes. And I show you kind of how I scribbled something together volcano wise, which is kind of neat.
It's super neat.
All right. Well, Lara, I want to thank you a million times for being a guest on Sketchy and Funny. You've made me and Michael's evening absolutely outstanding. Michael, since you are the microphone master, I want to give you the space to do the entire outro and everything like that for Lara for us, if you will.
Okay. And before we get to Laura's social medias, which, by the way, you should follow. Did I mention that? I think I'm going to mention over and over again, like it's Nelly and Tim McGraw up in here. Anyway, I digress. So if you want to check out LFCfights.com, Lingerie Fighting Championships, you can see so many amazing bouts. You can see so many amazing cards, including this one over here and Tommy Bell and yours truly, LFC35 Booty Camp in 3D. We coming at you in 3 dimensions, and we're not coming at you like Jaws 3D or Spy Kids 3D. Oh no, we are coming at you LFC35, baby, Booty Camp 3D. You can check us out on fights_LFC on Instagram, LFC_fights on the Twitter machine, X gonna give it to you like it's exhibit up in here. We got LFC_fights on the TikTok front. And I want to say this, if you want to go on the LFC YouTube channel and watch Lara Frazier versus Veronica Payne and see that face when Lara Frazier wins, that surprise face, that face, if you will, you can check out Lara doing her thing on the LFC YouTube channel front. Oh my goodness, the facial expressions, the storytelling, it's all there, baby. Now I'm looking at you, Lara Frazier. Where can we follow you on the Twitter, the Instagram front? How you doing? What you doing? Promote the events, promote Hood Slam. Let them know, man.
You can find me at Lara Frazier Kick on both Twitter and Instagram. Also TikTok, even though I haven't been posting there lately. I'm mostly on Instagram and Twitter. You can also find me on Facebook with Lara Frazier, my public Facebook page. Also haven't really been posting there, but so mostly follow me on Instagram and Twitter.
Links will be in the description below this audio. Like I mentioned, give her a follow. Give T-Bell a follow on his Twitter and Instagram, Tommy Bell Art. And if you want to just check out this show and everything, it is on Mike Larkin 92 on my YouTube channel, and subscribe to Tommy Bell Art on his YouTube channel. We are on Spotify. Not gonna lie, you will get notified. Yes, I'm rhyming, and it feels so good. Check us out. It's the thing, man. And I got to say one thing, since this one brought up Britney Spears over here, and I'm going to mention it, Lara Frazier. I think you're going to dig where I'm going with this. Oops, she done did it again. Tommy Bell, take us home.
Yes, well, everybody, we did it again. How about that? Okay, so here it is. This is where I'm at. Everybody, I can't wait to show the finished piece of a titled Adventurous featuring Lara Frazier, our today's special guest. Michael, thank you. Lara, thank you very much for joining us. Everybody, we'll see you next time again for Sketchy and Funny.
Oh.
Thank you for listening to another edition of Tommy Bell Art Sketchy and Funny. Follow Tommy Bell on all forms of social media, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Tommy Bell Art. Subscribe to the YouTube channel at Tommy Bell Art. Tommy Bell Art Sketchy and Funny is now on Spotify and on the VIP section of the official LFC Lingerie Fighting Championships website. Follow our guest Lara Frazier at Lara Frazier Kick on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Thank you all for watching, and we'll see you next time.
vibes.